Welcome to the first episode of the English podcast. Today we're going to read from an article about social media. Is social media making us more narcissistic? In the past decade, social media has transformed almost every part of our daily lives. It has changed how we communicate, how we share our achievements, how we express ourselves, and even how we understand our own identity. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X were created to help people connect, but many psychologists today are asking an important question. Is social media slowly making us more narcissistic? To answer this question, we first need to understand what narcissism actually means. Narcissism is not just taking selfies or liking your own pictures. It is a personality trait that involves an excessive focus on oneself, a constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. While not everyone on social media is narcissistic, many features of these platforms can encourage narcissistic tendencies, especially among younger users. One key factor is the constant chase for validation. And validation just means like reassurance. Social media is built on likes, views, comments, and followers. These numbers act like small doses of dopamine, rewarding the brain every time a post receives attention. Over time, some people begin to rely on this attention to feel good about themselves. They might delete posts that don't perform well, compare their lives to influencers, or post exaggerated versions of reality just to appear more impressive. This cycle can slowly shift their priorities from genuine self-expression to staged self-promotion. Another aspect is the pressure to present a perfect life. Before social media, people only compared themselves to the people they actually knew. Today, we compare ourselves to thousands of strangers who show the best version of themselves. Perfect bodies, perfect relationships, perfect homes. This can create a distorted idea of what normal life looks like. As a result, many users feel the need to curate their online identity carefully, posting only flattering photos or achievements while hiding anything that seems ordinary or imperfect. This can contribute to a narcissistic mindset where self-worth becomes tied to appearance and image. However, it would be unfair to say that social media always creates narcissism. In fact, for many people, these platforms provide a healthy space for creativity, learning, and self-expression. Artists share their work, students join study communities, and people with similar interests form meaningful friendships. Social media can also increase empathy by exposing users to different cultures, struggles, and perspectives. The problem appears mainly when people use social media as a mirror instead of a window, which just means that they're looking at themselves. When they use it only to reflect themselves rather than to explore the world. Studies on this topic reveal mixed results. Some research suggests a rise in narcissistic traits among frequent social media users, especially those who focus heavily on selfies or personal posts. But other studies argue that social media simply highlights behavior that was already there. In other words, social media might not create narcissism, but it can amplify it. It gives narcissistic individuals a stage, a spotlight, and an audience. The influence of social media also depends on age. Teenagers whose identities are still forming are especially vulnerable. Constant comparison and pressure can affect their self-esteem and shape their personality over time. Adults, on the other hand, might be more aware of the difference between online life and real life, making them less likely to fall into narcissistic patterns. Another interesting part of this discussion is how social media encourages performance. On camera, many people speak louder, laugh more, exaggerate emotions, or dramatize experiences. The line between authenticity and performance becomes blurry. Becomes blurry just means it becomes unclear. When everything is content, life can start to feel like a show, and we become actors trying to entertain an invisible audience. This performance culture can increase self-centered behavior, which just means selfish behavior, making people more concerned with how things look rather than how they feel.